Okay, so we're back live. So, like I was saying, these guys out there acting as if Deontay, that as if Tyson Fury is Deontay Wilder's manager, and he's the one that's supposed to secure the fight for Deontay Wilder. I mean, it's crazy. Okay, so I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, these guys are out there putting all the blame on Tyson Fury for this fight not happening. Okay, saying that Tyson Fury the cheater, uh, you know, Deontay Wilder resurrected him. Okay, Deontay Wilder is such a nice guy. He should have never gave him a second chance at the title. He should have never did a rematch in the first place after the first fight because Tyson Fury went away and signed a deal with ESPN as if Tyson Fury, because he's having a fight with Deontay Wilder, he's not supposed to go out there and get his bag, go ahead and sign a contract with ESPN to make like $100 million or whatever the deal was. I'm not sure exactly what the money, the actual money was, but it was a big deal. Okay, so he's not supposed to do that. He's just supposed to go ahead and rematch Deontay Wilder and forget about his career, and his money. I mean, it's crazy talk. Okay, so I mean, I mean, I'm not even sure what these guys are thinking about. Okay, nobody is questioning Shelly Finkel. Okay, I mean that's Deontay Wilder's manager, but nobody is asking Shelly Finkel any questions or putting any responsibility on Shelly Finkel for the fight not happening. Okay, isn't Shelly Finkel Deontay Wilder's manager? Shouldn't he be the one that's responsible for the fight going forward? That's his job. I mean, Shelly Finkel, I mean, we saw the interview with Bob Arum where Bob Arum said that he has not heard from Shelly Finkel since the rematch in February. Okay? How can that be possible? How can it be possible that Shelly Finkel has not gotten in touch with Bob Arum, who's the promoter for this fight, since February? How is it that you can tell me that Deontay Wilder wanted this fight, but his manager hasn't gotten in contact with the promoter that's promoting the fight for 8 months? And did Shelly Finkel come out and say, no, that's not true? He came out and said, Bob Arum is entitled to his opinion. What? What does that mean? So, these are questions that I have to ask because it seems like nobody else, is asking these questions. And I want to, as far as I'm concerned, these are questions that Shelly Finkel need to answer, and we need to hear from, Deontay Wilder as well. Because even with the contract, the rematch clause, there's questions about why was the window so short for the rematch and all of that. I mean, when you negotiate a contract, it's not a one way thing, because you have to understand something. Deontay Wilder was the A side when this contract was negotiated. Okay, when there was a negotiation for the rematch, Deontay Wilder was the champion. He's the A side. So when in negotiations, when these negotiations take place, it's usually A side that gets what they want. So if the contract if the window for the contract for the rematch clause was short, then that's probably what Deontay Wilder and his team wanted, because they're the A side. They decide what the contract is going to look like for the most part. They're not negotiating the contract to be in the favor of their opponent. In Tyson Fury, they're not trying to make the contract be favorable to Tyson Fury. So whatever is in the contract is more, probably more where it's Deontay Wilder's team who's getting what they wanted. So if there's a short window, then that's what Deontay Wilder's team wanted, because they're the A side. They're the one that's making the major moves when it comes to the contract. They get what they want. So nobody's asking these questions like, why the window, they're saying, why the window so short? We hear in Phantom Box, he's talking about, when I never heard of an 8-month, 8-month rematch clause or 7-month rematch clause. Why is it so short? I never heard anything like, of course. Okay, then once you ask Shelly Finkel why that was, I mean, that they're the A side, they the one that negotiated that. Okay, Shelly Finkel and his team negotiated the contract, and they more or less got what they wanted in that contract. So if there was a short window, that's what they wanted. Okay, these are just simple, logical. You know, this is not. It doesn't take a genius to figure these things out. Okay, so there's a lot of questions that need to be asked of Shelly Finkel. How did they let the contract expire? That's the next question. How did that happen? Okay, so there was there was a short window because you negotiated the contract in the first place. Okay, so how is it that you let this contract, expire? Is that Tyson's is it Tyson Fury's responsibility to ensure that the rematch clause doesn't expire? I mean, like I said, it's crazy talk. Okay, so these are the things that's going on, and instead of these guys, asking these pertinent questions of Shelly Finkel and his team, and now Deontay Wilder, they're going out there making all kind of excuses for Deontay Wilder, and not only are they making excuses for Deontay Wilder, they're putting a lot of pressure on Deontay Wilder. They make it because if Deontay Wilder, which is probably why Deontay Wilder didn't want to come out and say anything, because what is he going to say? Okay, all these questions I'm talking about now, I'm sure people are going to ask me these questions. Well, why did your manager let this happen? Well, what happened? What about this cheating that they're talking about? What about the poison in your water? All these ridiculous arguments. What about this glove game? Deontay Wilder, if he comes out and make any kind of appearance, he's gonna have to answer to all these allegations that have been made. Okay, he's gonna have to answer to those things. So this is the kind of pressure they're putting on Deontay Wilder, as if he doesn't have enough problems already, trying to get ready for the fight. And it's doubtful whether or not Deontay Wilder actually wants to fight at this point. I mean, I'm not saying he might not want to fight Fury again. We don't know. He might not. Okay, but if he does, I'm sure he doesn't want to just fight that quick, because look, if he's going to get prepared, if he's really preparing to beat Fury, he's going to have to do some real preparation, and that's going to take time. So the smart thing to do is just let the rematch clause expire, because it was so short, and spend that time to get yourself together and get ready for the fight. Okay, because at the end of the day, with all these allegations out there and all these things about cheating here and cheating there and Glovegate and Watergate and Headgate, all kind of gates, out there. But we're not hearing anything from. I didn't hear Shelly Finkel say that the fight was that Tyson Fury cheated. I didn't hear Deontay Wilder say that Tyson Fury cheated. As a matter of fact, after the fight, Deontay Wilder said the best man won, and I'm just gonna go back and try to get myself together. Basically, I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said the best man won. He didn't say nothing about cheating, about glove, about water, or none of that. Okay, that's what he said immediately after the fight when he was in the ring and they put the microphone in his face. Okay, that's what he said. But since then, all of these LDBC fanboys been out there making all kinds of accusations that Tyson Fury is not making. They compared it to our people that cheated in other fights. Okay, but saying that it's not impossible for that Tyson Fury cheated, because this happens all the time and this and that and whatever. Yeah, that cheating goes on in boxing all the time. But like I said, we're not hearing that from Deontay Wilder, and we're not hearing that from Deontay Wilder's team. Okay, all we're hearing that from is these fanboys out there, just spewing off at the mouth and talking a whole bunch of nonsense that is not being backed up by Deontay Wilder or Shelly Finkel or anybody on Deontay Wilder's team. Okay, and those are the facts. Okay, so I mean, we have to ask it. We gotta ask ourselves, with all this thing that's going on. We're talking about Tyson Fury. I think Tyson Fury is the one that's responsible for Deontay Wilder, but we know who's responsible for Deontay Wilder. Shelly Finkel. Okay, Al Heyman is Deontay Wilder's manager. Advisor. Shelly Finkel is the manager. We don't hear anything. I mean, how with a guy like Al Heyman, who's one of the most powerful men, if not the most powerful men in boxing, okay? How did it get to this point, and you have Al Heyman on your team, you got Shelly Finkel on your team, okay, one of the most experienced guy and when it comes to management in terms of boxing. This guy's been in the business for years, okay, so he knows about contract. It's not the first contract that Shelly Finkel has seen, or Al Heyman, or anybody on Deontay Wilder's team. This is not their first contract. These guys they got lawyers, they got all kind of people looking over different contracts. I mean, what is their role in Deontay Wilder not getting this rematch? I mean, because they got to have some kind of a role in that, okay? I mean, a lot of guys out there saying, oh, you know, this is something going on, but something's not right. Yeah, something is not right. But that has nothing to do with Fury. That's not Fury's responsibility to find out what's right or what's not right for Deontay Wilder, okay? Fury is responsible for Fury, okay? So we need to, these questions have to be answered by either by Shelly Finkel or Deontay Wilder, okay? Those are the people that we need to talk to. But as you see, none of them is coming out and saying anything, except for Shelly Finkel coming out and making a one-paragraph statement and then going back into hiding. And Deontay Wilder hasn't come out of hiding at all, okay, except for when he made that video about, you know, your king is here, and he made that interview on PBC about saying that his bicep was hurt back in April, okay, and then we saw him, you know, twerking in some video in June, okay, and he looked in good shape to me. I mean, he didn't look like he was, you know, he was injured at that point. I mean, you can't really tell, but still, I mean, he didn't look like a guy who was, you know, like injured, or, you know, he was dancing and, you know, having a good time. So we see Deontay Wilder out there, you know, dancing, carrying on, you know, having a great time, okay? And then we see these fanboys, LDBC, out there talking about, you know, his head is dented in, and, you know, his legs, and, you know, his biceps, and all this talk. I mean, this crazy talk, okay? So the narratives that these guys are spinning have nothing to do with reality. And we can see that if you just take a quick look and look at the facts, okay, and see what's going on. And like I said, we're not hearing nothing from Shelly Finkel about Tyson Fury cheating. We're not hearing nothing from Deontay Wilder about Tyson Fury cheating. But we are hearing this from these LDBC fanboys, you know, Fannin and Blue Blood and all these other guys out there. I don't have to mention them. You all know who they are, okay? And then, you know, I saw an interview recently where some guy came on to Fannin, you know, I mean, Fannin is something else, but I mean, this guy, I don't know what's up with that guy, man. But anyway, he had some guy on there talking about, the title of that video was Deontay Wilder's team responds to the allegations or whatever, you know, some title like something similar. So I'm paraphrasing again. So this guy comes on there, Tay something or the other. I don't know remember what the last name was, Tay Deed or Tay something or the other. And he was up there, you know, talking. I mean, this guy didn't say nothing at all, okay? He just basically regurgitated the same old LDBC narratives that's been out there. He basically just repeating that. He didn't bring no new information whatsoever, okay? And then he made some point about, he made a point about, oh, you know, they want to get this fight in England, but nobody, you know, this Anthony Joshua, but I know somebody on Anthony Joshua's team, and they don't even know nothing about this fight. What the hell is this guy talking about? What do you mean they don't know nothing about this fight that's coming up? Everybody, that's all everybody's talking about in England, even in America, okay, about this fight, the 2-fight deal that these guys have. It's all over, it's everywhere. So how is it that these guys in England and Joshua's team don't know nothing about that? I saw a video with Eddie Hearn talking about the fight, about, you know, it's going to be a big fight, it's going to be great for England. You know, we know that, we know that Tyson Fury is serious about this, and we're serious, and we're really looking forward to make it, because if Joshua gets past Pulev, then that's the fight we're going to make, and we love to make that fight, because we know that Tyson Fury definitely is serious about it. It's a fight that we can make, and we're going to make it. He said, and he said that, you know, the fight, we tried to make the fight with Deontay Wilder, but they weren't serious. Okay? So these guys, we have Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, okay, talking about this fight coming up with Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury in 2021. But here it is, this guy from supposedly, Tay something or the other from Deontay's team. He's out there talking about, these guys, nobody in Anthony Joshua's camp even know about this fight that's supposed to be coming up because this is just pure nonsense. Just a waste of time, this guy, when he came on there. He didn't say nothing new, like I said. He basically just regurgitated the LDBC narrative that these fanboys out there spewing, and that's all he was saying. He didn't say nothing. He didn't have nothing to the conversation whatsoever. Okay? So, at the end of the day, people can say what they want, but we have to hear from Deontay Wilder, okay? If you don't hear from Deontay Wilder and Shelly Finkel, all these questions that people are asking need to be directed to Shelly Finkel and Deontay Wilder, not Tyson Fury. That's not Tyson Fury's job to be, answering questions about what Deontay Wilder, team is doing. Or it's not Tyson Fury's job to secure the fight for Deontay Wilder. It's Tyson Fury's job to secure his career and make sure his career is on track. Okay, and that's what he's doing. Okay, so like you said, he's tired of waiting for this thing to go on with Deontay Wilder. Now, people can debate about whether it's Deontay Wilder who is asking for these rescheduling and postponing the fight and all that. Or they could say, like Bob Arum said, if the networks or whatever. That could be debated. But at the end of the day, we have to understand, what Bob Arum said. What did Bob Arum say? He said, listen, I don't tell the fighters what they have to do or who they have to fight. That's their job. They do that. Okay? He said, this idea that if us promoters, are telling these fighters who they got to fight and setting, he said, I don't do that. He said, that's not how it's done. Okay? So there it is. So all this talk about the networks and about, Bob Arum want to fight at this time. That's not, Bob Arum doesn't, he might want that, but he doesn't force that onto the fighters. Okay? So at the end of the day, what Bob Arum is saying and what he said is that it is the fighters that make these fights. He gave them options, present to them the options, and they make a decision about what they want to do. Okay? So at the end of the day, the responsibility for the fight not happening or happening is going to be firmly in the hands of the fighters, okay, and their team, which will be Deontay Wilder and Shelly Finkel, okay? And, Al Heyman is the advisor, okay? So we see Al Heyman, is making fights with, he got fights to put in, Al Heyman got a lot of fights coming up. We have Spence, we got, a whole bunch of fights coming up in December, a whole bunch with Pulev and Joshua, and now we have Fury and probably some guy from England coming up. So there's a lot of fights going on. So I don't, this talk about this fight between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder couldn't be made in December is nonsense. I don't believe it. I'm sorry. Okay? If all these other fights could be made, that fight could have been made. Okay? And the only common denominator in this fight not happening, as far as I can see, is the fact that we haven't seen Deontay Wilder come out and say that the fight, he wants to fight or he needs, and the fight is supposed to happen. He doesn't care what Tyson Fury is saying. He's going to be there and he wants to fight in December. We haven't seen that from Deontay Wilder. Now, remember when they had to build up for the first fight? Okay, remember when they had to build up for for the second fight? Deontay Wilder was out there for the rematch. He was out there talking, promoting the fight, building up the fight, doing everything to make this fight happen. Okay? But for the third fight, we didn't see none of that. We see total silence. Okay? Total silence. And then people trying to spin it as if him being silent was a good thing. How can that be a good thing when you're supposed to have a fight coming up that you're supposed to be promoting and then you have other guy saying that the fight is not going to go on and you're still not saying anything. You're still not coming out and say, yeah, the fight's going to be on, I'm ready to go, and blah, blah, blah. Okay? We saw Shelly Finkel come out and say, oh, we're ready to fight Tyson Fury anywhere, anytime. And we like that fight. So he's not saying, oh, this fight is definitely on, and if the fight doesn't go on, we're going to take him to court. He didn't say nothing like that. He's saying we like to have that fight next. because it's as if he knows that the fight is not going to happen. Okay, but he just out there, you know, covering basically, you know, and that's what it looked like to me. It's like a public relations thing. Okay, so at the end of the day, what it comes down to is, does Deontay Wilder really want this fight? That's the question that we have to really figure out. And, you know, we don't see Deontay Wilder to be able to ask him that question. We haven't seen him to be able to ask that question because he's been basically incommunicado, okay? Except for, like I said, we saw him out there twerking, and we saw him with the talking about the king is back. We saw him on the podcast. You know, we didn't see him, but he was on the podcast talking about his bicep was hurt and he was even training. That was in April, okay? And then in June, we saw the, you know, I don't remember when he made the King video, but we saw him in June with the twerking video, the dancing video, hanging out with his kids, having a good time. You know, like when he didn't seem like he was depressed or like he was, none of that. He seemed like he was in good spirits to me. Okay, I like he was having a great time, hanging out with his kids and his family and his friends. Okay, you know, enjoying himself. That's what I saw. I don't know what anybody else saw. Okay, so, you know, I just think that at the end of the day, there's no, you know, all this talk that these guys out there talking about, you know, trying to blame Tyson Fury. Now, until I see Deontay Wilder come out and say that, hey, Tyson Fury cheated, I'm not buying the glove gate nonsense and all that other stuff. I have to see Deontay. I mean, when they had that situation where Cotto, I forgot the guy that was fighting Cotto, and he had his glove laced with some kind of something in his glove, and, you know, he was out there, you know, he basically cheated, and Cotto was all beat up and bloody. You know, Cotto ended up coming back and, you know, whooping his ass, but Cotto said he cheated. Okay, he wasn't some fans out there saying that. You know, Cotto and his team came out and said this guy cheated. Okay, again, we don't hear nothing like that from Deontay Wilder. We don't hear nothing like that from his team. We don't hear nothing like that from Shelly Finkel, Al Heyman, or anybody from Wilder's side of the water. We don't hear nothing like that. We just hear from these guys out there, okay, making these allegations, you know, making up all kinds of stories. But we're not hearing that. So until I hear it from Tyson Fury himself, I mean from Deontay Wilder himself, I'm not buying it. I gotta hear that from Deontay Wilder. I gotta hear Deontay Wilder come out and say this guy is cheating. Okay, then I'll say, okay, there might be something to this. But until I hear it from Deontay Wilder and Deontay Wilder's manager and his team, I'm not buying it. Because even these people that come out and speak for Wilder, they're not even saying that. Supposedly speaking for Wilder, they're not saying that. They're talking about autopsy. Deontay Wilder had an art. I mean, an art. I mean, that's so silly. Okay, how can a man that's alive have an art? How can an autopsy be done on a man that's alive? That's for dead people. What is this guy talking about? So you see, it's all this nonsense that these guys are talking. You know, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, it's just crazy what's going on, you know, with this whole thing. So, you know, at the end of the day, these guys are just making up stuff, and they're just making things worse for Wilder. Okay, because when he comes out, and when he finally comes out, he's going to have to answer to all these silly allegations that these guys are making. I'm not saying that people don't cheat in boxing, but like I said, I'm not hearing that from Wilder. I'm not hearing that from his team. And until I hear that from his team, then I'm not putting too much credence in those accusations from these LDBC guys out there, you know, spewing all kind of narratives about this and about that and conspiracy theories and the like. Okay, I gotta hear it from Wilder, because if I don't hear that from Wilder and his team, then I'm not putting too much credence in any of that stuff. Okay, and you know, again, another thing these guys out there talking about, you know, this idea that the fight between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury is a big fight, the third fight that is, and that, you know, why wouldn't Tyson Fury want this fight? Because it's a big fight. Why would he walk away? I mean, that fight is nowhere near as big as the fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. So that's the way he needs to go. I mean, that's the way I would go. Okay. If this fight between Tyson Fury the third fight between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder was so big, why are the networks, why doesn't the networks want the fight? Why are they postponing the fight? Like, that's what these guys are saying, that the fight has been postponed by the network. It wasn't Deontay Wilder postponed the fight with the network, because they were saying that there was a football game going on, college football. College football. Hey, I mean, yeah, college football is big, but if this fight was so big, why would they be worried about going up against college football? Why? I mean, you could. I mean, I don't see any college football going on 10, 11 o'clock at night. So why would they want to make the fight? Just like they're making other fights in December. There's a whole bunch of fights going on in December. You know. So why would they make this fight in December? Just like, you know. So this talk, you know, if these networks thought this fight was so big, and you know, they wouldn't really worry about college football. Just like all the other fights that's going on in, you know, in December. Look at Al Heyman made the fight with as a matter of fact, Al Heyman took the fight with switched the date of the fight with Spence and Garcia to the 5th. Okay, they switched that date and got him a stadium and the whole 9 yards. Why couldn't the same thing be done for Wilder? So these are questions that people are not asking, and these are questions that need to be asked. Okay, but these fanboys out there just spewing narrative and spinning narrative and not even thinking about the repercussions of these conspiracy theories that they're making and what effect it's going to have on Deontay Wilder and the kind of pressure he's going to be under to answer all these allegations. Okay, so you know, this is what's really going on. You know, so and then, you know, another thing, you know, that another part of a big part of their conspiracy and narrative is that, or their narrative is, you know, that they're spinning is that, oh, Deontay Wilder, you know, was such a nice guy. He's too nice. Oh, he resurrected Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury was just sitting on the sidelines. He wasn't doing anything. And Deontay Wilder, Mr. Being the nice guy that he is, when nobody didn't want to give Tyson Fury a chance, Deontay Wilder, you know, gave him a chance. What are these guys talking about? Boxing is not a social service organization. Okay? You know, boxers and they don't go out and offer people fight because they want to be nice or they want to help the other guy out with his career and all this crap that these guys are talking about. Okay? You go out there and you try to get fights to your advantage as a fighter, not to the other guy. You're not trying to rehabilitate nobody. You're not trying to, you know, pick anybody up off the ground. You're not out there feeling sorry for anybody. You're trying to make fights to enhance your career. That's what you do as a boxer. That's what your team does. Okay? So all this talk about, you know, Saint Wilder, okay, going out there trying to feel sorry for Tyson Fury because he felt sorry for Tyson Fury, and so he wanted to rehabilitate Tyson Fury, and he picked him up when nobody else wanted. I mean, it's all bullshit. Okay, so if these guys can stop this nonsense, okay, Tyson. The reason why, I mean, we have to understand again. We you know, and see, they don't even understand how this narrative is really messing up Deontay Wilder, because they keep saying that, oh, you know, Tyson Fury was on drugs. He was 400 pounds. He was taking cocaine. He was drinking, smoking. And Deontay Wilder, you know, felt sorry for him. And Deontay Wilder, you know, went there and, you know, picked him up when nobody else wanted to give him a chance. And he hadn't made any money in years. And so Deontay Wilder picked him up. And so, yeah, you could look at that both ways. I mean, you're saying that here was a guy that was 400 pounds. He was drinking. He was taking drugs. He was, you know, alcohol. Okay, smoking, everything. Okay. He hadn't fought in 2-3 years. Okay. Deontay Wilder offered him this fight. He came. He did, you know, he did 2 fights with 2 tomato cans. Okay, substandard opponents. Not even, I don't even know if these guys was even in the top 50, much less the top anything. Okay, and they was even ranked. I don't think they was even ranked. Okay, those are the guys he fought. And then after that, you know, remember now, this is a drug addict, a smoking addict, a alcoholic, you know, a food addict. Okay, and he had 2 fights after a layoff of 2 years with 2 guys that's probably wasn't even ranked.
And then straight from that, he went to a fight with Deontay Wilder, the baddest man in the land, okay? The baddest heavyweight in the world. And he had a draw with Deontay Wilder, the baddest man in the land, after all of that. What does that say about Tyson Fury? And more importantly, what does it say about Deontay Wilder? So, you know, people don't really seem to understand what they're saying, okay? Because if we look at it, you know, logically, there is no way that Tyson Fury should have been able to get a draw. And you know, that was an official draw, but everybody knew that he actually won that fight. Okay, Tyson Fury actually won that fight. Okay, he outboxed Deontay Wilder for the full 12 rounds, and only when he got knocked down in those knockdowns, that probably was the only round that Deontay Wilder actually won. Okay, but he got a draw. They gave him a gift. So he fought a guy that was almost 400 pounds, out of shape, drinking, smoking, eating, doing all kind of illicit activities in terms of his body, okay? And this guy was able to get a draw with Deontay Wilder. I mean, it's, you know, I mean, that doesn't say much about Deontay Wilder, okay? So these guys need to just stop with all this talk, okay? Because they're making Deontay Wilder look very bad, okay? So now, again, under these, you know, looking at that, the situation, you see that what really was going on is that Deontay Wilder and his team, probably Shelly Finkel, because remember, during that time, Deontay Wilder was supposed to have a fight with Anthony Joshua, okay? And for some reason, that didn't go on. Everybody tried to blame Eddie Hearn. They tried to blame, you know, because they hate Eddie Hearn and you know, anything to do with British boxing, basically, okay? So they were trying to blame Eddie Hearn, saying that Anthony Joshua was ducking this and that, you know, he didn't want to fight, blah, blah, blah. And then somehow or the other, in the midst of those negotiations, we heard that, supposedly no negotiations, which would have made Tyson Fury a lot of money, you know, but instead of going forward with that fight, somehow or the other, they went and started some kind of negotiation with Tyson Fury to fight Tyson Fury. Now, Tyson Fury didn't have any belt. He was the lineal champion because he hadn't lost, but he didn't have any belt per se, okay? He was, like they said, out of shape, drugging and drinking and all the whole 9 yards. So why did they go to take that route? I mean, Tyson Fury had a name and he's the lineal champion, but he was in no condition to really fight, okay? But they went to him. So why would they do that? Instead of going to Anthony Joshua and making a fight with Joshua. Okay, I'm making a fight with Dillian White and then going and getting the Joshua fight. Instead, they went to a guy that was supposedly 400 pounds, out of shape, drinking, smoking. They went to make that fight with that guy because they wanted to put because the reason is because they thought it was a low-hanging fruit. It was easy picking, okay? They figured Tyson Fury was easy picking. You know, Dillian White wasn't easy picking, and neither was Anthony Joshua. So they took the easier route, okay? And I really believe that was probably Shelly Finkel's decision to do that. That was their team, you know. That's their figured, hey, let's take an easier route. You know, we fight, you know, Tyson Fury, get him out the way, get him before he gets any, you know, he actually comes out and becomes a threat, okay? Put his scalp on our belt, and we keep it moving, and then we can, you know, make the fight with Joshua. That was a big mistake. You should have just went straight to the fight with Joshua. Forget about that, okay? But we saw what happened. So this idea that Tyson Fury and that Deontay Wilder did all of that, you know, with the fight with Tyson Fury because, you know, he was a nice guy and he's a good Samaritan and, you know, all this talk that these guys are making, it's all nonsense, okay? We know why he took that fight. Because, like I said, the logical conclusion we have to reach is that he thought that fight was going to be an easy fight. Because he thought he was going to have a low-hanging fruit he could just pick and keep it moving, not Tyson Fury out, okay, which Klitschko couldn't do, okay. So all this idea that, you know, I heard Bloomberg Sports talking about, oh, when they picked Tyson Fury, he was one of the best in the world because he had beaten Klitschko. Yeah, he had beaten Klitschko, but the Fury that beat Klitschko wasn't the Fury that Deontay Wilder was fighting. That Deontay Wilder offered to fight to. They offered to fight to the Tyson Fury that was 400 pounds, taking drugs and the whole 9 yards. That's the Tyson Fury they offered to fight to. They didn't make the fight with Tyson Fury immediately after he beat Klitschko. No, because remember, you know, Deontay Wilder was a champ during the same time Klitschko was a champ, you know, for some years, okay? He never tried to unify with Klitschko. As a matter of fact, when they asked him about that fight, they asked his team about the fight with Klitschko about the unification. They said that Deontay Wilder was a baby. He wasn't ready for Klitschko yet. That's what Shelley Finkel said. And you can look it up, Google it, and you'll find it out. He said that Deontay Wilder was a baby. He wasn't ready for Klitschko. Okay, that's what he said. So, you know, so these guys are, you know, they're talking about, you know, and they try to, you know, downgrade people like Joshua. I mean, Joshua fought Klitschko when he had his 16th fight. Okay, I mean, here's Joshua, a young kid just coming into the game. Deontay Wilder been champ for years. He never fought Klitschko. Anthony Joshua comes in, he fights all these guys to unify the belt, okay, in such a short period of time. But yet, you trying to tell me that Deontay Wilder, that Anthony Joshua is ducking Deontay Wilder? What the hell are these guys talking about? This guy's going around unifying the belt, okay, fighting everybody. Before his 16th fight, like around his 16th, 17th fight, by the time he had his 20th fight, he had unified already. Deontay Wilder have about 40-something fights or something like that. Okay, he's been fighting for years, made no attempt to unify the belt. But this young kid that comes into the game, you know, just barely 10 fights and he's out there unifying the belts. Okay, but you trying to tell me that he's ducking Deontay Wilder? I mean, these guys don't have any sense. I mean, what they talk. I mean, what are these guys talking about? Okay, he went in there against Klitschko and knocked Klitschko out. Okay, a young fighter who barely had 20 fights knocked out Klitschko, while Deontay Wilder been champion for years and never took any attempt to unify against Klitschko or anybody for that matter. Okay, so I mean, you know, these are the kind of narratives these guys are spinning, and he's just making himself look silly at the end of the day, you know. So this myth about Deontay Wilder rehabilitating Fury because he was a nice guy is just that, a myth. Okay, and this is never a narrative that these guys are spinning that making themselves look even sillier than they already do. Okay, so Deontay Wilder again need to have a lot of questions to answer to his fans. He has a lot of questions to answer to, you know, the general public at large. He needs to come out and you know, speak about what he actually wants. Okay, and you know, until I hear from Deontay Wilder, I'm not putting too much credence in what these guys are saying because it's all nonsense. Okay, and so I want to hear that from Deontay Wilder that Tyson Fury cheated. I want to hear from Shelley Finkel that Tyson Fury cheated. I mean, Tyson Fury. I mean, you know, I want to hear from Deontay Wilder that he wants to fight. Okay, I'm not hearing none of that, and that's what Tyson Fury wasn't hearing either. So Tyson, if I'm not hearing that, okay, I'm sure Tyson Fury wasn't hearing that either. He wasn't hearing anything from Wilder because, like I said, you know, Wilder is putting the world, you know, driving the world to frenzy with his silence. So Tyson Fury is supposed to wait around until Wilder decides what he wants to do, you know. So they're not hearing nothing from Wilder. Okay, the time is going by. They're not hearing nothing from Wilder. Like Bob Arum said, he hasn't heard from Tyson. He hasn't heard from Deontay Wilder or his manager since February, 8 months ago. They haven't heard from him. And Deontay Wilder's manager nor Deontay Wilder never came out and said, no, that's not true. They never came out and said that. They just said, you know, Finkel just came out and said, oh, the fight is on. One line. Oh, the fight is going to be on. Then he came out when they did an interview a week or so later saying, oh, they want to fight. They want to fight anywhere, anytime, and that's the fight they would like next. So that's the fight they would like next. Not that that's the fight that will be next. That's the fight that must be next. Okay? That's the fight that... So if you want to fight Tyson Fury any place, anytime, why didn't you fight him in December? All this talk about the pandemic and, you know, the networks, it's all nonsense, okay? Because if that fight was really, if Tyson's team really, if Deontay's team really wanted that fight to be made, it would have been made. That's the way I see it. And that's why I'm telling you, and I'm saying that the reason why the fight is not happening is because of Deontay Wilder and his team, okay? It's just that simple, okay? It's not because of Tyson Fury. Okay, so and it's not Tyson Fury's responsibility to make Deontay Wilder's team, do their job. Okay, they need to do their job. And obviously somebody, people keep saying, oh, something's got to be wrong here, something's not right. Yeah, something is not right. Okay, Deontay Wilder's team is not doing their job. Okay, and that's not Tyson Fury's responsibility. Okay, and that's Deontay Wilder's responsibility. He's the one that runs this team. Okay, so his team is running him. I don't know which one, but at the end of the day, they got to answer for why this fight is not happening. Okay, not Deontay Wilder, not Tyson Fury. And so we see that we don't hear nothing from them. They're not making they're not coming out and answering no questions. They're not making any interviews. They're not doing anything. So what does that tell you? Well, I don't know about you guys, but it tells me that Deontay Wilder doesn't want to fight. That's what it tells me. That's just a logical conclusion based on everything that we have seen so far. So anybody that could, come up with anything else is just talking nonsense. Well, Jason Measer, I agree with you about Wilder. He said Wilder should not come out and say anything because it's Shelly Finkel allowed the contract to expire. That's bad management, but we don't know the facts. Of course, we don't know the facts, but we can arrive at a conclusion based on, the anecdotal evidence we have before us. Okay, and like you said, that's Shelly Finkel's job. How could they let this? I mean, this guy's been in boxing for what, 50 years? He's been seen. He's seen dozens of contracts, hundreds of contracts. How could they let the contract expire? Okay, and this talk about the short window for the rematch, they negotiated that. Okay, Tyson Fury didn't write up a contract and send it to Deontay Wilder and say, here, sign it, and Deontay Wilder just signed the contract and that was that. No, that contract was negotiated between Tyson Fury's people and Deontay Wilder's people. So they knew exactly what the contract was made up like. And like I said, Deontay Wilder was the A side. Okay, so that means that mostly what's in the contract is what he wanted. Okay, that's the way the business works. The A side dictates what's going to happen. Okay, so whatever was in the contract was in there with the full knowledge of Shelly Finkel and Deontay Wilder's team. Okay, they had full knowledge of over in the contract, and that's probably their contract. They negotiated that. They put that in there because they probably thought that, Deontay is going to go in there and knock him out. We make the fight a short window so that, force him to come back right away, knock him out, and just keep moving. The same kind of thinking that went into offering the fight to Tyson Fury in the first place, that he was going to just knock him out and get him out of the way and blah, blah, blah. But none of that happened, okay? They should have they should have took the route of the Joshua fight instead of going to Fury, okay? That's what they should have done, okay? They made a tactical mistake, and Deontay Wilder is paying for that right now, okay? So that it is what it is, okay? So all this talk out there that people are saying, they gotta, you can't just go out there and just make any kind of accusations, okay? And just make up all this crap that they're out there making up and then putting all this pressure on Deontay Wilder. And now Deontay Wilder gotta go out there if he never decides to come out and he has to answer to all these different allegations these guys are out there making. He has to answer to that now, okay? Putting a lot of pressure on the man. I mean, it's crazy, okay? So, it is what it is. I mean, people got to really wake up and see what's going on because, as far as I can tell, it looks to me like Shelly Finkel is just covering up, covering. Because at the end of the day, like I said before, when it all boils down to it, it's Deontay Wilder who's the man in charge of, just like Bob Arum said, he doesn't force fighters to do anything. He gives them options and they make the decision. I mean, we just heard Spence come out and say, Errol Spence said, I run my own career. Nobody tell me what to do. I'm the boss. That's true. For the most part, that's true with every fighter, basically. At the end of the day, they make the decision, especially when you're an elite fighter, you make the decision about who you want to fight, when you want to fight, and all of that. So we can't absolve Deontay Wilder of any responsibility for what's going on. Okay? All right, so let's just say he didn't know all the particulars of the contract. Maybe he didn't read the contract, he didn't know all the particulars of the contract. But that's his team's job to do that. That's Shelly Finkel's job to do that. Okay, Shelly Finkel's job is to know every line, every word in that contract. He got lawyers that he's supposed to put on that contract and to make it what it is. Okay, and I'm sure he does. Okay, But like I said, they made a tactical mistake, okay, by making the reclause, the rematch window such a short, rematch clause window such a short window. That was a tactical mistake because they thought that Deontay Wilder was going to go in there and knock Tyson Fury out. They didn't know that, Tyson Fury was going to give Deontay Wilder such a beating to the point where he wouldn't even be ready in time for such a rematch in such a short time, okay, because of the beating he got. He got a brutal beat down. So he wasn't really prepared for this rematch. I don't think he's prepared for the rematch. I'm sorry, okay? Exactly, Jason Mazur. It's uncharacteristic of Wilder to be so quiet. People just got put two and two together. I mean, he doesn't take a genius to figure this thing out. Okay, it doesn't take a genius. Just put two and two together. Okay, Wilder's. I mean, how could there be a fight in December and we haven't heard anything from Wilder? No promotion, no media appearances. So is that the new way to make fights now? You just be silent, don't say anything, and let the other guy that's doing your opponent do all the media appearances, making demands to have the fight. Is that the way it works now? Is that the way it worked in the second, leading up to the second fight? No. So people, when you see all this type of things going on, this strange, things going on, you got to ask the question, what the hell is going on? Okay? And so, it just doesn't take a genius to figure out that, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder and his team don't want this fight. Shelly Finkel, if they really wanted this fight, now, all right, maybe we can say that, okay, maybe, let's say Shelly Finkel wanted to fight. Let's say, I'm sure Bob Arum wanted to fight that guy. He's going to make money off of it, okay, if the fight happens in America, so he definitely wanted to fight. The networks, okay, they said the networks didn't want to fight, okay? The network kept putting the fight off, supposedly, okay? I don't know about that. To me, that's just a cover, okay? To me, that's just the cover. Bob Arum saying that, it's not, it's not in Bob Arum's interest to say that Deontay Wilder was delaying the fight. It's not his interest to say that because he wants the fight to happen. He doesn't want to piss Deontay Wilder off or piss off his team. He wants the fight to happen. So he's going to say whatever it is he got to say to make the fight go on. And he wants the fight to happen in February like he wanted to. He wanted it in February. Okay? He said he wanted it because he's going to make money if the fight happens in America. Okay? He's going to make money. So he wants to fight. But like I said, I don't think so if Shelly Finkel wanted to fight, how come he didn't get in touch with Bob Arum for 8 months? If Deontay Wilder wanted to fight, how come he didn't come out and say he wanted to fight? Okay? So what is this talk about him being silent? He's shaking up everybody. No, it's not shaking up anybody. It's ruining his chance of making the fight. And that's exactly what we see. Okay, because he has not come out and definitively said, I want this fight. Tyson Fury is trying to duck me. I'm ready to take him on right now. I don't care where, how, and when. Let's get it on in December like Tyson Fury said. He didn't come out and say none of that. Okay? So at the end of the day, Jason, you're saying that maybe the second fight really affected Wilder. Maybe he retired, will be sad because say what you want will about Wilder, the heavyweight division won't be the same without him. I could agree with that to a certain degree. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I could agree that it won't be the same without him. Okay? But at the end of the day, you're right. We have to really look at that fight and see for what it was. Okay? People just think that, you get a brutal beat down like that, you just bounce back. A fight like that could affect the guy. You have to understand that Deontay Wilder, look at the way Deontay Wilder was talking before the beat down, okay? The baddest man in the land, all he needs one punch. Tyson Fury can't punch. He was talking out there, like he was the next thing to Jesus Christ, basically. He couldn't do it, like he was going to kill Wilder. He's going to catch a body, okay? He's just laying these guys out. One day he's going to catch a body because all this talk, and then out of nowhere, this guy comes in and just totally pulverizes him. Now, we have to ask ourselves, what kind of effect does that have on a person's ego, okay, his mental stability, okay, physically, because we saw his eardrum get busted, we saw him bleeding, it was a brutal fight. Okay, so you think somebody's just going to bounce back from that in 8 months? when the rematch is supposed to happen? No, it's not going to bounce back after such a fight. You know, it's not easy to bounce back from a fight like that. Okay, the guy is in, you know, it's probably in, you know, like I said, it's not easy to bounce back from something like a beating like that. Okay, it takes a toll on you, whether it's psychological or physical or both. Okay, and so we don't know what state of mind Deontay Wilder is in. But like I said, we saw him out there, you know, and I'm gonna hazard to make a guess. Okay, we saw him out there. I mean, when you look at that video with him, you know, dancing, we saw him. Look at it. You saw his face. You saw his demeanor. You saw the way he was, you know, his physical shape that he was in. He wasn't even fat or out of shape or nothing. He was in tip-top shape, he looked like. Okay? He was slim. He still slimmed down. Didn't look like, he didn't look depressed or anything like that. So all I'm saying to you guys, I think that at the end of the day, this is what I think. I think that Wilder, you know, is probably kind of ready to kind of, you know, ease off the boxing for right now. Okay, maybe he's gonna come back at a later date, like Jason Mazer is saying. Okay, that's possible. But he needs more time. I think he needs a lot more time than 8 months or a year. I think it would be smart for him to take some time off. You know, work on his craft, work on his technique, get himself up to, you know, up in shape, build himself back up, and then come back in 2022. Okay, and start working his way up again. Okay, I mean, he'll still be up in the top of the division, so he's not like he got to work his way from the bottom. Okay, maybe have to have 1 or 2 good fights, and then he'll be back in the running again. Simple as that. But he needs to, you know, that's probably what he needs, and from the way he looks and from what I can see of him, that's probably what he wants. Okay. And maybe he just don't want to be bothered with boxing. He want to take some time off and rest himself up and enjoy his family. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. So why are these guys out there from LDBC putting all this pressure on Deontay Wilder to come back and to fight Tyson Fury right away? He's not saying that he wants to fight Tyson Fury right away. His management, I mean, come on. I mean, give the guy a break. Okay, let the guy relax with his family, take some time off, recuperate, work on his craft, work on his technique, work on his skill, and then maybe if he decides to come back in 2022, he comes back in 2022. Maybe he decides that he don't want to come back at all. Okay, he's done enough in the game already to retire at this point if you want to retire. Okay, so there's no need to put all this extra pressure on the man, okay, for no reason, you know, out there with all these silly allegations about this, that, and the other, and then he gotta come out and answer for all that crap that these guys out there spewing. Okay, that's not gonna do the man any good. Okay, so I don't, I'm not a guy. I don't hate Deontay Wilder. People think because I just tell it like it is. I'm not out here. I'm not riding with nobody because of this or because of that. I ride with boxing. Okay, that's what I do. I ride with boxing. That's it. Okay, I'm gonna tell it like it is. I don't care who the fighter is. Okay, I'm not trying to be friends with no fighter. I'm not trying to be their buddy. I'm not trying to go out there and be the yes man. I'm just giving you my opinions on boxing and what I think about boxing. And I'm not favoring this guy or that guy. Okay, if I talk about a fighter, I'm going to give it to you straight. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. Okay, and that's the way it's going to be. You know, that's the way I operate with this. I'm just giving you my opinion on what I think is going on. So I'm not going to go out there and try to, make shit up or sugarcoat this or sugarcoat that just to please somebody or to please some fighter or to, no. That's not the way boxing works. That's not the way it is. You gotta you gotta go out there and tell it like it is, and that's what I do. So it's not a matter of I don't like Wilder, I'm a Wilder hater. I don't know Deontay Wilder. Okay, how can you hate somebody you don't even know? It doesn't make any sense. Okay, and on top of that, I mean, from all accounts that I've seen and from what I've heard, Deontay Wilder is a great guy. I mean, I don't hear anybody saying that Deontay Wilder is this or Deontay Wilder is that. From everything I know from Deontay Wilder, he's a great guy, a family man, and, a guy to be respected, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? But that's one thing, okay? But when it comes to boxing, when we're talking boxing, I don't get into the personal stuff with somebody. I'm not getting into all this, that stuff about the family, whatever, whether it's good or bad, okay? I just talk boxing. I keep it strictly boxing. Okay, and I'm gonna keep it real 100. Okay, that's it. Okay, so that's what we need more of that instead of all this fanboyship out there with all these guys out there spinning narratives talking about, you know, brotherhood, this and that and the other, and race. I mean, yeah, racism is everything. It's not, you know, racism is not just, it's a part of American society, so it's in boxing as well. So everybody knows that. Okay, so I mean, that's nothing new. Okay, I mean, we hear talk out there like, oh, you know, I mean, there's always some great white hope that comes along, because we know that phrase, the great white hope. Okay, they made 5 Rocky movies about that. Okay, I mean, so I mean, at the end of the day, you know, we know what it's all about. At the end of the day, so it's there. But I'm not gonna go out there and try to racialize my analysis about boxers, you know, just for the sake of doing that. No, I'm not gonna do that. Okay, if I see racism, I'll say it. Okay. Like for example, when I see people say like, when I see people talking about Lomachenko is the greatest fighter, the pound for pound #1 pound for pound over Terence Crawford, that's just the great white hope syndrome that's out there. That's all that is. That has nothing to do with reality. There's no way that Lomachenko could be considered pound for pound over Terence Crawford or even Andre Ward or any of these guys. It's ridiculous. It's talk. It's ridiculous talk. It's just that I mean Lomachenko is a great fighter, a special fighter that comes along every once in a while. Yeah, he's all of that, but he's not the pound for pound #1. I'm not far from it. Okay, I don't know if he's number 10. Okay, so you know. This talk, so that's the great white hope syndrome talking right there, and I know that. So I'll say that any day, anytime. Okay, but I'm not gonna, you know, go, you know, say, oh, I'm gonna ride with this fighter because he's black, or ride with another fighter because he's, you know, he's Spanish, or hate another fighter because he's white. No, I'm about boxing. Okay, that's what I'm about. Okay, boxing, plain and simple, and that's all it is, and that's what I'm gonna talk about. Okay. So at the end of the day, Deontay Wilder's management have a lot to answer for. Okay, that's nothing to do with with Fury. Fury has nothing to answer for in terms of what's going on with Deontay Wilder. All of that has to be put on Deontay Wilder's team. They got a lot to answer for in this situation, and Deontay Wilder have a lot to answer for as well. Okay, and that's where the responsibility lies. The responsibility is not on Tyson Fury to make the fight with Deontay Wilder. That's his team that's supposed to enforce that. If they have a rematch is supposed to be enforced by his team. That should be enforced in the contract. That should be built into the contract. Okay, and so there shouldn't have been no way that this fight, this rematch clause expired. That should have never happened. And the fact that it happened, then you have to look at Deontay Wilder's team as to why that's happening. Okay, don't try to all type. You're trying to appeal to Tyson Fury's his humanity or his kindness or his what this guy's talking about. That's not boxing. Boxing, no, that's not what boxing's about. Okay, I mean, boxing is business. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, these same guys don't really make no criticism of other fighters. Like, all right, look at Spence and Crawford. You don't hear these guys saying, oh, you know, Spence should, you know, make the fight with Crawford because it's the right thing to do and we want to see the fight. No, they say, oh, you know, they're out there saying, oh, you know, it's business and, you know, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense, and that Crawford don't sell and all this kind of nonsense. They're not out there saying, no, you know, let Spence should do the right thing, but they want Tyson Fury to do the quote-unquote right thing. I mean, it's just bullshit, okay? And so at the end of the day, man, we gotta be able to separate the crap from the, you know, the truth, and, you know, to really see what's really going on. Okay. And as far as I'm concerned, you know, at the end of the day, this fight, I don't think Deontay Wilder wanted to fight at all, and I don't really blame him for that. I'm not gonna blame Deontay Wilder for not wanting to fight. Okay. I'm not gonna criticize him, you know, other than to say that he doesn't want to fight, and I'm gonna say that. Okay. It's not, you know, hating Wilder to say he doesn't want that fight, okay? Because I don't think he does. I could be wrong, but I don't think he does. If he does want it, he doesn't want it right now, okay? And I don't blame him at all for not wanting to fight right now, because he shouldn't take the fight right now. What he needs to do is go back into the gym, First of all, before you get back into the gym, take some time off, relax, take it easy, take a year off, okay? After about a year, start training again, get yourself back together, go back in the gym, do what you gotta do, make it, get a new trainer if you got a new trainer, whatever, and then work on your craft, build yourself back, and then come back in 2022 or somewhere around there. And that's the best thing for it right now. You need to recuperate from that beat down you got, okay? And all these guys out there trying to rush him into the ring, in December or whenever against Tyson Fury, it's doing him a disservice. They're not doing anything good for the man by trying to make him make the fight right away. It's ridiculous. Let the man recover, recuperate, and get his shit together, and then come back again. He needs to do that, okay? Because at this point, if he was to go back in the ring 8 months after the fight with Tyson Fury in the first place, the same thing would happen again if he hasn't changed anything, okay? He needs to make a lot of drastic changes to be able to fight Tyson Fury, because we saw what happened in the second fight. We saw what happened in the first fight, okay? And he needs to make drastic changes, and that's all there is to it. And that's just the God honest truth, okay? The man needs to make some real changes. I'm pretty sure he realizes that, and he's going to, probably do that at the end of the day. Because like I said, if Tyson Fury was to make the necessary, Deontay Wilder was to make the changes that need to be made, okay, he would be one of the most feared guys in boxing. You just imagine if Deontay Wilder could box somewhat like Tyson Fury, move, put combinations together, slip punches, use both hands. I mean, the guy would be unbeatable with all that power that natural power that he has. He would be unbeatable, okay, if he was to actually box. Okay, so this is what needs to be done with Deontay Wilder if he's going to come back again. But if he decides that he doesn't want to come back again, he just want to retire and go enjoy whatever little money he has and enjoy family, then that's okay too. I don't have a problem with that either. Okay, he did what he had to do, but at the end of the day, like he said, Tyson Fury was the better man that night. Okay, and that's what he said. Okay, but these guys don't want to give Tyson Fury any credit whatsoever. They want to say he cheated. They want to say he used drugs. They want to say Deontay Wilder got poisoned. They want to say all this talk. They're not giving Tyson Fury any. Not only are they not giving Tyson Fury any credit, okay, they're not giving this guy any credit, Sugar Hill Stewart, okay, who Tyson Fury left his old trainer, came over to CARNE gym in America, and Sugar Hill Stewart trained him for this fight, okay. Sugar Hill trained him for this fight. I mean, nobody's giving this guy credit for what he did, with Wilder. He totally changed Wilder's whole style and had a strategy in place to be able to beat, not Wilder, Tyson Fury. He changed Tyson Fury's style, put him in a position to be able to beat Wilder and knock Wilder out. This guy should get all the credit in the world along with Tyson Fury, okay? But nobody's giving him credit for anything. They're saying Wilder, that Fury cheated. They're not giving this guy credit. None whatsoever. That's so shameful. This guy should get a lot of credit. People should be talking about this guy, okay? But instead, I hear them talking about him, calling him, I hear one of these guys that they call him a coon, and that, basically almost threatening the guy. Like, if he see, this is so ridiculous. These guys are so damn ridiculous, it's not even funny. This LBBC fanboy, these guys are out of their minds, okay? Give the man the credit he deserved for what he did. The strategy came up to be able to beat Deontay Wilder, the supposedly baddest man in the land. Did we forget about that? That Deontay Wilder was the baddest man in the land. That he was just that much away from catching the body. Did we forget about that? And Tyson, he knocked Tyson Fury down twice in the first fight. But granted that Tyson Fury was a shell of himself, and we have to understand that as well. Okay, that Tyson Fury that he fought wasn't the best Tyson Fury. The one that he fought the second time was a better Tyson Fury than the first one, and we saw what happened. So, I don't think there was anything going to happen different in the third fight. This talk about Tyson Fury got a puncher's chance, and so he had a puncher's chance in the first fight when Tyson Fury was a shell of himself, and I can't say that enough. Okay? I cannot say that enough. When he fought Tyson Fury the first time, when Deontay fought Tyson Fury the first time, Tyson Fury was a shell of himself. And he was able to beat Wilder, regardless of what they say about a draw. And people don't really understand what that really meant. It's like they just dismiss that. Okay? they dismiss, you know, they out there saying it. They out there saying that, oh, Tyson Fury was a bum when Wilder came along. Yeah, he was a bum. But look what the bum did. Okay, they're not looking at what the bum did. They're just saying he was a bum. Yeah, he was a bum, but look what he did. Okay, they're not. So what made them think? So what made them think things were going to be different? Was going to be, you know, any different the second fight? It was different in the sense that Tyson Fury did even better, which was expected based on what he did in the first fight, with very little, you know, when he was out of shape and still, you know, drinking and fat and all that, and he did such a great, I mean, job. And at the end of the day, you know, they could talk all they want again about Tyson Fury, the glove gate. Hey, that's not. It's Tyson Fury's, it's Deontay Wilder's team to monitor these things. Okay, they're supposed to monitor the glove. They're supposed to make sure that, you know, all these things. They pick the glove. The A side does all that. When you're the A side, that's what you do. You put things in for your favor. So if nobody was monitoring the glove, if nobody was making sure that Tyson Fury wasn't, it's not like they just found out that Tyson Fury, you know, was supposed to be a cheater or they knew they didn't do any research on Tyson Fury. They didn't know who Tyson Fury was. I mean, so that should have made them even more extra careful in making sure that nothing went wrong in terms of the gloves or anything else. That's their job. That's Tyson Fury. That's Deontay Wilder's team's job to do that. So somebody fell on it. They've been falling down the job from day one. And the first way they fell on the job was when they even picked Tyson Fury to fight him in the first place. That was the first mistake. Okay? And then they just continued to make mistakes after mistake after mistake after mistake. Okay? Which culminated in the final mistake where they made a short window for the contract and didn't take into consideration that Deontay might lose. Okay? And so now when Deontay Wilder actually lost, you know, Deontay Wilder's team is kind of like Deontay Wilder. You know, Deontay Wilder only have a right hand, no plan B. His team had no plan B, okay, for the rematch, okay, if Tyson Fury lost. They didn't plan for him losing, okay? I mean, so it's just like Deontay Wilder's team is making mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake, okay? And Deontay Wilder is paying for that right now, okay? So, you know, all this talk blaming Fury, you know, they gotta blame, they gotta put, you know, Tyson Fury's, Deontay Wilder's team has to take some responsibility for what's going on. Shelly Finkel is his manager. That's his job to handle all of everything that we've been talking about tonight. He was supposed to be on top of all of that, okay? You know, that's his job. But obviously, he wasn't doing his job, okay? And we see the result of that. So now they want to put all the onus on Tyson Fury as if Tyson Fury is the manager for Deontay Wilder. That's the way they make it sound. Okay, oh, you know, you got to give Wilder a chance. He should give Wilder a chance. He shouldn't go ahead and make a fight with Anthony Joshua because Wilder gave him a chance, and now he should. Oh, this is just foolish talk. Okay, it's all foolish talk. Okay, so like I said, you know, Trauma Storm. I don't care what these guys are saying. They're going to say Tyson Fury cheated, but until Deontay Wilder come out and say Tyson Fury cheated, I'm not believing none of it. Okay, I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. I got to hear that from Deontay Wilder or from Deontay Wilder's team, his manager, or somebody. Okay, they got to come out and say, yeah, he cheated, and they got to have proof. Okay, so I'm not buying all this glove gate, Watergate, bicep gate. You know, all these different gates that these guys are coming up with to explain why Deontay Wilder lost the fight. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. I gotta hear it from Deontay Wilder. And until I hear from Deontay Wilder, I'm not putting no credence into what these guys are saying because it's all bullshit at the end of the day. Okay? And I don't hear Deontay Wilder say nothing about that. I don't hear his team say nothing about that. So I don't know what these guys are talking about. I'm sorry. Okay? I'm not saying that they're not cheating in boxing. They're cheating in boxing every day. But I didn't hear nothing from Deontay Wilder about that. I didn't hear nothing from his team. So until I hear from his team and they say that that's what went on, then I might say, okay, well, maybe there's something to this. But until then, it's just, to me, it's just gossip. And it's just gossip and pure conspiracy bullshit. That's all it is. Okay? These LDBC guys are out of their minds. They have no, it's like they're far from reality. Okay? And all they doing, like I said, they just putting pressure on Tyson Fury, on Deontay Wilder, to where when he comes out and finally decides that he wants to come out and speak, he's going to have to answer to all these allegations that these guys have been making, because the people are acting. Okay, what about this and what about that? What about the water? What about, and they, what is it going to be saying? It's crazy. It's crazy. So, yeah, Trauma Storm, I agree with you 100%. I gotta hear this. I gotta hear it from Wilder. Okay, I gotta hear it from Wilder's team. And so far, we haven't heard none of that from Wilder or his team. Okay, nothing whatsoever. So I don't know where these guys are getting this stuff. But these guys don't, like I said, they're not in reality. They somewhere in La La Land somewhere, and they just don't want to accept the fact that Tyson Fury, really came out there and did his job, and he did it with the help of Sugar Hill Stewart. Okay, great guy, great trainer, and he did a great job with Tyson Fury for this fight. Okay, but nobody's giving him the credit. They're trying to say that Tyson Fury cheated instead of saying that, hey, you know what? That guy Sugar Hill from the Crown Gym, he had a beautiful strategy for this fight, and he gave Tyson Fury the strategy to win against Deontay Wilder. They're not saying that. Okay, they're not giving this guy any credit. Okay, so I just don't get it. You know what I mean? But it is what it is at the end of the day. And so, well, only time is going to tell what's going to happen with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. I'm sure somewhere down the line they might fight again, maybe a year or two down the line. Okay, if Tyson Fury, that's if Deontay Wilder decides he wants to come back. But like I said, if Tyson Fury decide that, if Deontay Wilder decide that he wants to retire at this point, I wouldn't blame him. Okay, that was a brutal fight. He took a brutal beating, and he has done enough in the heavyweight division, in the time that he's been in there, to where he deserves, if he wants to take it easy right now and just relax and enjoy his family and his children, and take it easy. You know what I mean? And if he want to do that for a year, 2 years, or forever, that's up to him. Okay. But I would like to see him come back and fight again, because I would love to see the trilogy at the end of the day. I would love to see that fight. Okay, but it doesn't make any sense for him to do that right away when we know it's probably going to end up the same way again, or even worse than the first time. He needs to really make some good changes, and the kind of changes that Deontay Wilder needs to make is going to take more than 8 months or more than a year. Okay, because he needs to make systemic changes in his whole boxing technique and style to be able to come back. And if he actually makes these changes, he could. Look what Joshua did. Okay, look at what Joshua did, Anthony Joshua, when he lost to Ruiz, and look at the guy he lost to Ruiz, and look at the guy who Deontay Wilder lost to, a big guy who can box, and then Joshua lost to a little guy that can box. Okay, so basically Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua had a harder time, because look at the guy he lost to. Okay, but what did he do after he lost that fight? Did he disappear? Did his team go into silence? Did his team, just disappear? What did Anthony Joshua say after he lost that fight in such a humiliating fashion? Okay, it was a humiliating. He lost that fight. It was a humiliation for Anthony Joshua, a bigger humiliation than what happened with Deontay Wilder, because he lost against a little fat guy. No disrespect to Anthony Ruiz, but he was a fat guy, okay, and he lost to a little guy, so the humiliation was even greater, okay, than for what happened. At the end of the day, look how big Tyson Fury came into for the fight. So he was a big guy. So losing to a big guy, good boxer like Tyson Fury, it's no shame in that, okay. There's more shame, if you want to call it shame. I'm not going to call it shame. I'm just using that as a reference. But if you want to look at it like that, then it's more shame in Anthony Joshua losing to Anthony Ruiz than Deontay Wilder losing to Tyson Fury. But look at the difference in the way these guys reacted, okay? Because this is how you could tell where if a guy has a championship heart, or if he doesn't, or whatever. Because when you have adversity, it's how you react to adversity that determines, how good of a fighter you really are. Because look what happened to Joshua. He didn't make any excuses. He came out and told everybody, and anybody that would listen, that Anthony Ruiz won the fight fair and square. He was the better man that night, and he had no excuses whatsoever. Okay, that's what he said, and he went out and he said it over and over and over again. Anytime he talked about how great of a guy Ruiz was, he hugged Ruiz after the fight. He put his arms around him. He put Ruiz's hands up in the air and said, "This is the champion." Okay, this is what AJ said. Okay, and then all he did was went back into the gym and worked on his craft and came back out and did what he did in the second fight. Okay, so this is what we expect of great fighters and champions. Okay, not to go silent and not say nothing and have all these guys out there making accusations about. Well, I'm not going to say he have these guys out there making these accusations. I don't think he had nothing to do with that. I don't think Deontay had nothing to do with that. I just think these guys out there just spewing nonsense and making up shit. And so he doesn't have anything to do with that. But he does. He should have a responsibility to come out and say, "No, guys, that's not true. Tyson Fury was the better man that night. He won fair and square." If that's how he actually feels. If he didn't feel like that, then he needs to come out and say that as well. He needs to come out and say, "Well, I think Tyson Fury cheated," if he felt that way. But either way, he needs to come out and say something. Okay? And so we're not seeing him do any of that. We're not seeing him take the route that Anthony Joshua take. And to me, the route that Joshua took was the better route. Okay? He took his defeat like a man. Okay? And I just don't see Deontay Wilder taking the defeat, in a healthy way. Okay, I think that I don't know what's going on with him, but we don't know. So until we hear from him, we'll never know. We can only speculate, and that's all everybody else is doing, is speculating, just like I am, as to what really happened. But I'm just looking at it from a logical standpoint. I'm not trying to be no fanboy. I'm not trying to make up shit. I'm just gonna look at the facts and see it for what it is. And as far as I can see, at the end of the day, Deontay Wilder's team dropped the ball in many different ways, in many different places, and Deontay Wilder is suffering for that right now. Okay, and that's just the way I see it, and that's the way I think that's the way it is. So, again, until Deontay Wilder come out and say Tyson Fury cheated, then I have nothing to say about no glove gate or no other water gate or knee gate or bicep gate or any other gate that they want to come up with, because I'm sure they're going to come up with more gates after all of this. They're going to come up with another gate, okay? So I mean, they're going to come up with all kinds of gates. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's all bullshit, man. I mean, they're just making Deontay Wilder look bad, okay? Thinking they're helping Deontay Wilder. I mean, just imagine if I'm Tyson Fury, I'm like, man, what the hell is going on? These guys, they're talking all this shit. Deontay Wilder's not coming out and saying nothing. He's not even answering my phone call. I don't hear nothing from his manager. They're not coming out and saying they want to fight. But people expect me to wait around for these guys. I'm not going to wait around for anybody. I'm going to go ahead and move on my career, make the big fight with Joshua, and that's that. Okay? And I don't blame Tyson Fury for doing that. That's what he's supposed to do. Okay? It's not his job to take care of Deontay Wilder. That's Deontay Wilder's team. Okay? That's their job. They need to do their job. Okay, and the people out there talking about Tyson Fury and questioning Tyson Fury need to be questioning Deontay Wilder's management and Deontay Wilder himself. Okay, that's what they need to be doing. Okay, instead of out there talking all this bullshit. Okay, they need to stop it. Okay, because they're just making Deontay look like a fool. Okay, and it is what it is. I don't think Deontay Wilder is like I said. I doubt if Deontay Wilder is riding with any of that crap, because if he was, he'd come out and say he was, but he's not even saying that. Okay, and we saw him, like I said in the video, hanging out with his kids, having a good time. It doesn't look like he's losing any sleep, over what happened. Okay, and he doesn't look like to me like he's depressed, or like he was having a great time with his family. He was out there dancing and carrying on, okay, and doing his thing. So these guys go out there and say whatever they want to say and keep talking all that nonsense. I guess they're making money off all that crap that they're talking. So I guess it's that's I mean, what can you say? You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. Okay. So Maze, I hope Wilder speaks soon too. You need to speak. You need to clear up some of this nonsense these guys are talking. One way or the other, whether or not he comes out and say, yeah, Tyson Fury cheated, or he comes out and say, no, Tyson Fury didn't cheat and he was the best man that night, and I just gotta build myself back up. And that would be the smart thing to do, really. If that's how he really feels. And if he feels that Tyson Fury cheated, then he should come out and say that. Okay, you know, I mean, if you feel like Tyson Fury didn't cheat, you come out and say that too. So he needs to come out and say something, and his team has a lot to answer for as to why this fight is not being made. You know, whether it's Al Heyman or well, again, Al Heyman, he's just an advisor. Okay, he just advises these guys. He's not like he's responsible for, you know, what they decision they make. I don't think anybody forced, like Bob Iron says, I don't think anybody forced these fighters, you know, to do this or do that. They just advise them this way, give them the option, and then they make their own decisions. Okay, and that's, you know, that's the way I think it is. And I think at the end of the day, what I really think is going on is that Deontay Wilder is not ready to come back yet. Okay, he is not ready to come back, and you know, he needs more time to get himself together. Okay, and that's that. And that's why I think it really is, and that's why I think he's not saying anything. That's why I think the fight didn't, you know, was the rematch was made, because I don't think Deontay Wilder is ready. Okay, I just don't think that. And instead of his team coming out and saying, well, hey, you know, this and that, you know, I'll come up with a good cover story, they're just not saying anything, thinking that if they don't say anything, you know, everything's going to go away. And it's not going to go away. Okay, it's not going to go away. So they need to come out and say something. They need to, you know, do a publicity thing, come out, you know, do a better cover for Deontay Wilder than they do now. I just think his team is, you know, terrible, man. I mean, you know, what's going on with his manager, Shelly Finkel? I mean, I think that this whole thing is just ridiculous. Okay, I think, you know, instead of firing his, instead of Deontay Wilder firing his trainer, he needs to fire his, you know, he needs to fire his team. He needs to fire Shelly Finkel. Okay, that's what you need to do. That's who you should have fired. Okay, not you know, not Mark Breland. But maybe again, you know, maybe he needs, like, you know, maybe he should go ahead, you know, he should go ahead and hire the same guy that Tyson Fury hired, and, you know, get a good trainer, you know, that could show him different things, you know, or bring in a co-trainer. You know, you don't have to fire Wilder. I mean, Breland. Maybe, you know, he couldn't have Breland as the chief trainer and then bring in another trainer. You know, I mean, there's a lot of things he could do. Okay, and you know, he needs to do that. So at the end of the day, like I said, there's a lot to be answered for. There's a lot to answer for in terms of Tyson Fury's team. Okay, I mean, Deontay Wilder's team. You know, there's a lot of questions that need to be asked, and, you know, those questions need to be asked of Deontay Wilder's team, and how they could let these, you know, let this thing happen, you know, that's going on right now. They need to, you know, they need to come out and take some responsibility, you know, for what's going on, and for this contract rematch clause expiring, because that's their job. Okay, that's their job at the end of the day. So here, you know, good old Shelly Finkel here. Okay, I mean, I think they're doing a disservice to Deontay Wilder in what they're doing right now. And but at the end of the day, maybe they're just trying to cover for Deontay. Okay, because at the end of the day, I think Deontay Wilder is the buck stops at Deontay Wilder. Okay, that's what it is. We can say what we want to say, you know, about his team and this and that, but it's his job to get his team into shape and to make sure his team is doing their job, because it's his life, it's his career. Okay, so he needs to put his foot down and, you know, make sure his team is doing what they're supposed to be doing. Okay, just like all this talk about Glovegate, they should have had somebody in there making sure the glove is okay, you know, and all this thing, you know. I mean, all this, you know, so all this talk is just nonsense as far as I'm concerned. And until we hear from Deontay Wilder, we don't know what really is going on. And, you know, that's what everybody's waiting for. And I'm hoping that he'll come out sooner or later and say something and put these things, put everything into perspective. So we don't know. We don't know really what's going on, people. And until we hear from Deontay Wilder, we are basically in the dark. And all these guys out there trying to blame off Tyson Fury for everything is just talking foolishness. Okay, if Tyson Fury is not Deontay Wilder's manager, okay, you know, I mean, it's just ridiculous. You know, so I don't know, guys. I think, I mean, what you saying that for Wilder? I mean, there's a lot of good fights out there for Wilder still if he decides to come back. I mean, really and truly, the heavyweight division, seems to be, getting hot right now with all, with now that the belt is in Britain. It seems like we're gonna get some good fights, okay? As opposed to what we were getting here in America, with all these, ridiculous fights that we'll be getting in the heavyweight division. I mean, the heavyweight division in America doesn't seem to be very strong right now, okay? Just like it wasn't strong during the time of Klitschko, okay? And some of the time when Deontay Wilder was a champion, because he wasn't really fighting anybody. I mean, we have to say that. The toughest guy, the biggest guy he fought was what? Ortiz. I mean, and then we saw him fight Tyson Fury. And like I said, Tyson Fury wasn't even any shape to be fighting. Because remember when the fight was made with Tyson Fury, people were saying, no, you're not ready to fight Deontay Wilder, the baddest man in the land. You're damn near 400 pounds. How are you gonna fight? I mean, even Tyson Fury's own father was saying that he wasn't ready for this fight. Okay, but Tyson Fury said, "No, I'm ready. I'm gonna beat him." So even Tyson Fury team was saying that no, he's not ready for this fight. But Tyson Fury took the fight anyway, and we all saw what happened. The rest is history. Okay, so Tyson Fury was in no shape to fight at the level that Deontay Wilder was supposed to be at, okay? And I do say supposed to be, because that's what it is, supposed to be, okay? Tyson Fury was in no shape to fight at that level, okay? But he would end up having a draw, and we all know he actually won the fight, okay? And then we saw what happened in the second fight. And so, what more is there for us to know about what would happen if they fought in the third time? I mean, if a Tyson Fury that was we can't actually say that he's finished yet, okay? We don't know that. He could be finished maybe, but then again, maybe, if he actually went back to the drawing board, he could actually come back and do something. There's some good fights for him, at heavyweight still. I mean, there's a lot of good fights out there for him right now, okay? If he decides to come back and rebuild, like I said, he wouldn't have to start from the bottom if he came back, because, he'd still be up there in the rankings, I believe. And so he could have some good fights. You got Dylan White, you got Povetkin, you got Pulev, you got, Du Bois, you got Joe Joyce, you got a lot of good guys out there and some good fights that could be made, And you got Joshua and still got Fury out there. And that fight could still be made with Fury if he comes back. So, there's a lot of good fights to be made still. So I don't think it's necessarily true that, Tyson Fury is finished. I mean, Deontay Wilder is finished. I don't really believe that. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah. Yeah, I'm back. My internet disconnected for a little bit, but I'm back now. So, I don't know if you guys heard what I was saying. I didn't even realize my internet was disconnected. But anyway, like I said, I don't think that Tyson Fury is necessarily finished. Okay, I think that he could still come back and do some work. I would like to see him fight AJ. Okay, I would like to see him fight Dylan White. I would like to see him fight, Povetkin. There's a lot of good fights out there for Deontay Wilder still, okay? It's not like Deontay Wilder is finished. Just because you lose a fight doesn't mean you're finished. I mean, what does that mean? He's only one loss on his record. So what? What's the big deal? He lost one fight. It's no big deal. That's not the end of the world because he lost a fight. Joshua lost. Look what now he's back as a champion. And I believe that, I really, really believe that Deontay Wilder have the tools to be able to rebuild and come back again and come back even stronger, okay? Because he can't get no worse than what he was, okay? So he can only improve from where he was. Because as far as I'm concerned, he was, the way he was fighting, his style was just too amateurish to really, sustain, his position as champion. And that the first time he ran into somebody that knew how to box, he was going to lose. Okay, everybody knew that. I knew that. I'm not a genius in boxing, but I realized that. Okay, The first time he fought somebody that could actually box and actually fight, he was going to lose because he had no he was only depending on one punch, and you can't do that as a boxer. Okay, I mean, yeah, you know, Deontay Wilder is a great fighter, but he's not a good boxer. Okay, you need to learn how to box, and that's all there is to it. Okay, so it is what it is. Let's see. Let's face it, the three best heavyweights right now is Fury, Wilder, and Joshua. Everyone else is lower level. Those top three should be fighting each other like Ali fought Frazier 3 times. Yeah, I could agree with that. You're right about that. They should be fighting each other. And they look like they are going to fight each other. So let's see what happened with the fight between Joshua and Fury. You know, I mean, who do you guys think is going to win between Joshua and Fury? Any thoughts on the Joshua Fury fight? Anybody? Who do you think is going to win? I think I'm leaning towards. I mean, at this point, I think we have to say that. You know, in terms of just pure boxing, I think that Tyson Fury is probably the best boxer out there right now as a heavyweight. But again, I want to see what Anthony Joshua looks like, because we saw that he made. I'm not sure if it was a tactical change or a strategic change. If he would, you know, by tactical, I'm saying that he just made a change to fight the second fight with Ruiz, and that was just for that fight. Or if that change he made was a strategic change where he's going to be fighting like that from now on. So we're going to find out after the Pulev fight and see if, you know, how that's going to work with the Pulev fight. So let's see what happened. I would like to see what happened in the Pulev fight before I really say like who is better or who I'm going to lean towards in the fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. At this point, you know, before that, you know, I would have to say I think that you know, it would seem that Tyson Fury is probably the better boxer. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I don't think he's probably a better boxer than Anthony Joshua. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he could beat Joshua, because Joshua, unlike Deontay Wilder, is not a one-punch guy. He's not a one. He got tools in his tools chest, and he can put his punches together, and he can throw combinations, and he can go uppercut, hooks, and he can move. And we see that against the Ruiz fight. And now I don't know if he can move as good as Tyson Fury, but he can definitely move. So I would love to see, you know, what type of style he's fighting with right now in terms of, you know, how he fights in the Pulev fight, and then we could determine, you know, what he's going to look like against a Tyson Fury. Okay, that should be an interesting fight, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that fight. You know, and then after that, I guess in 2022 we might see Fury and Joshua again, and we might see them in 2021 late. And we don't know, because you know there's no guarantee that Joshua is going to beat Pulev. So we don't really know. It could be, you know, Pulev could upset everything, and then, you know, the biggest fight would be, you know, Joshua could, you know, Tyson Fury would fight Pulev, I suppose, and then maybe he can come back and fight Deontay Wilder, and then the winner can fight Pulev. We don't know, but you know, it looks like boxing heavyweight is getting exciting right now. It's going to be some exciting times in the heavyweight division, and I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, that Fury versus Hay. I mean, why would you want that fight? We already know what would happen. Fury would have beat him. You know, Hay wasn't all that. He wasn't all that good. I mean, he was okay in his day, but we saw him go up against Klitschko, and what happened with that fight. He was too small for the big guys, man. Like Fury and like Klitschko and, you know, guys like Joshua. These guys are too big for somebody like Hay. Okay, he was a small guy. He should have been a cruiserweight or a light heavyweight instead of a heavyweight. He wasn't, you know, he couldn't fight with the big boys. We saw what happened. You know, he got beat by what's his name there, cruiserweight.
Which excuse was worse, Wilder's costume being drugged, Breland with a double agent, or Hayes stole? That's some funny shit right there. But yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, but like I said, I don't think Hay was big enough to go up against guys like Fury, Klitschko, and Joshua, or even Deontay Wilder. You know, they would have killed him. Oh, so you're saying that Hay dismantled Wilder in sparring? We've all seen the videos. Wow, I didn't know that. I have to go and check those videos. But it doesn't surprise me because, like I said, Wilder can't really box. So any good boxer will dismantle it. Okay, and that's why I hear him talk. I hear this talk about him fighting Usyk. I would stay away from Usyk if I was him until he, you know, improving his boxing technique. Usyk is a very good boxer, you know. So you know, much better than Hay. So you know, it is what it is. What do you guys think of, who you think is gonna win in the fight coming up this week with tomorrow actually with Lopez and Lomachenko? There's nobody hating Wilder, man. Well, I don't know about anybody else. I don't hate Wilder. Okay, you talk about the hate in you know, in this room. I don't know. Maybe, you know, again, Wilder need to come out and talk about what happened in the fight. He need to come out and say something. You know, saying Stalin is not doing him any good. He need to speak up, speak his mind, tell people what he thinks happened. If he thinks Wilder, if he thinks Fury cheated, then he should come out and say that. If he doesn't think he didn't cheat, he should come out and say that too. So you got Lopez in this fight. Okay, Lopez. I'm leaning towards Lomachenko in this fight. I don't think that. I mean, he's a big guy. He's big and strong. I saw the interview with him on in that, you know, yesterday that they was on ESPN or wherever they was on. I saw that not an interview, but it was they was having a, what do you call it, a conference or whatever. And I mean, Lopez's head looked twice the size of Lomachenko, man. I mean, he's big compared to Lomachenko. He's a big guy next to Lomachenko. So I don't know. You know, it's gonna be. I'm pretty sure he's the biggest, probably stronger than Lomachenko. But then again, I'm not really you know, I don't really go for the big necessarily. That means just because you're bigger, that means you're gonna win. I think skills pay the bills, and Lomachenko definitely have the skills. And so we're gonna find out if Lopez actually has skills or if he just has a puncher's chance. But he looks like he's a pretty good boxer. So, but I just don't think he's as good a boxer as Lomachenko in terms of, you know, just pure boxing and even experience. I mean, Lomachenko is the more experienced fighter. So I'm thinking that Lomachenko should be able to outbox Lopez, okay, frustrate him, and you know, I mean, it's even conceivable you might knock him out. I mean, you know, I would bet on a knockout, but I wouldn't say it's impossible either, and I wouldn't say it's impossible for Lopez to win either. I think he has a chance. He got a puncher's chance, and you know, he's a bigger guy anyway. Because I think Loma is actually a 130 pounder. He's not a real lightweight, and I think that Lopez is not even a lightweight. I think he's a junior welterweight. Okay, so basically what we have is that we have Lopez, who's actually a 140 pounder fighting at 135, and then you have Lomachenko, who's a 130 pounder fighting at 135. Okay, so really I think it's a two weight division difference in this fight. Okay, it's like Lomachenko is coming up from super featherweight to fight a junior welterweight. But you know, I'm still gonna put my money on. Well, I'm not gonna put in the money, but I'm leaning towards Lomachenko in this fight. But I don't think it's impossible that Lopez can win. I think he has a chance. But I'm just thinking that Lomachenko is gonna outbox him. You know, but anything could happen. So we'll see what happens. Definitely gonna be should be a great fight.
Shelton, I got Loma to stop Lopez late after frustrating him in the middle round. I can see that happening. Okay, I can see that. I can definitely see that happening. But you know, I can also see Lopez jumping in with a left hook and putting out Loma's lights. I can see that too. Okay, so you know, it's gonna be an interesting fight. But it's definitely going to separate the men from the boys in this fight. And we're definitely going to see what Lopez is made of in this fight against Lomachenko. Okay? If he's the real deal or if he's just a big mouth. Excuse me. Definitely going to see that in this fight. He's definitely going to be tested. Unless he could end the fight early without, you know, by just you know, manhandling Loma like Salido did. And he have the size and the strength to manhandle Loma, I would think. You know, like Salido, because Salido manhandled Loma, you know, that's how he won that fight. So if Lopez is able to walk Loma down, stay close to him and manhandle him like the way Salido did, he should win the fight. But we don't know. We'll see what happens. Hey, Trauma Storm, stop it, man. It's starting to make fights. That's funny. Stop making fun of the man. That's not, you know, that's not nice. It's funny though. Starting to make fights. That's hilarious. You guys are something else, man. Yeah, but that's some hilarious shit. But yeah, that uniform is supposed to be like 40 pounds. I was watching another boxing channel. I'm not sure which one it was. I don't remember if it was Counterpunch or Sporting Icons or whatever. And they were talking about, you know, people in the army wearing backpacks, you know, heavier than 40 pounds. And they're doing it for days. And then, you know, Wilder is complaining about a suit that was 40 pounds that he wore for 15 or 20 minutes. You know, that how could that, you know, weaken him, you know, just putting on a suit like that for 15 or 20 minutes. I mean, I don't know, but, you know, it is what it is. How are you going to blame the suits for that? Okay. So, I don't know. Maybe, we don't know what happened now. Like I said, I would love to see Wilder come out and say something about what really went on in that fight, you know. But he did, you know, those are the things he did say about the suit, and you know, but he's not the one coming out and talking about, you know, Glovegate. I didn't hear him say anything about Glovegate. I didn't hear him say anything about Watergate. I didn't hear him say anything about Breland Gate, you know, or Trader Gate, or Spy Gate, okay, you know, or whatever gate these LDBC guys are coming up with, you know, all kind of gates, okay. I didn't hear Wilder or his team say any of that. So we can't really take none of that stuff, you know, at face value, because, like I said, these guys will say anything, you know, to make some super chat money or to get some likes. You know, these are super chat pimps and like button junkies. You know, push the like button, hit the like button, man. I want to get 500 likes. I need 100 likes. Get the likes up, man. Yeah, hit that button, man. I mean, come on, man. Stop it. White's interview after Wilder got beat is legendary. Okay, I gotta look up that interview and see what he actually said. Now that you said that, what did he say? That makes sense, Jeff. Milton, Jeff, makes sense to me. But I mean, I would know it. I mean, it looked like he was hurt to me. I mean, how can you not be hurt when you got busted? You know, your ear is busted. Okay, you got knocked down so many times. I saw some of those punches land. They were vicious punches. I mean, how could he not be hurt after all that? I'm not buying that. I'm sure he you know. Yeah, well, from what I hear from Dylan White, he's been trying to fight Wilder for a long time, and Wilder was avoiding him, he claimed. So we don't know. So maybe, you know, but we saw what happened to Dylan White himself. He got knocked out. But look what Dylan White did. Right away, he's in the rematch, and the fight's coming up again. So we see the difference in the way Wilder is operating and the way Dylan White and Anthony Joshua operated. You know, they got knocked down, they just got right back up and went back at it again. You know, it looked like Wilder got knocked down and he's staying down. You know, so you know, it's not looking good for Wilder at this point. Okay, he needs to come out and say something, and you know, whether he's gonna fight again, he's gonna retire or whatever. Like I said, I wouldn't blame Wilder if he retired or if he decides he doesn't want to fight again until, you know, maybe 2022. He needs to take some time off, recuperate, get himself back to 100%, and then go back in there and do what he has to do, or retire if that's what he decides to do. You know, that's, you know, I don't see no shame in that. Okay, I mean, you know, he fought a fight and he lost. I mean, you know, he lost to the better man that night. That's all there was to it. So, you know, he just needs to dust himself off. You know, he only has one loss. If he decides that you want to continue to fight, then get back in the training. You know, do what you have to do, and then come back strong, just like how Joshua did it, and just like how Dylan White is doing. You know, brush yourself off. You know, heal up, and then come back. I mean, you know, it is what it is. There's no point in you not saying nothing and keeping silent and make people out there speculating. Okay, I mean, you know, it's not looking good for you. But guys, I think that I'm gonna leave it there. I've been on for a while now. Okay, appreciate you guys coming in and you know, joining the conversation. If you feel so inclined, you know, you can go ahead and hit the like button, or you know, press the subscribe button. Okay, I'm subscribed to the channel, and you know, hopefully I'll see you guys again on the next live. I enjoyed the conversation, and I look forward to the next one. Right? So I'm gonna leave it there. This is TBE. I'm out.